Michael, pleasure to meet you.
Yeah, likewise. Thanks for having us.
Thank you so much for coming. Wow. First things I've got to say is wow. Yeah. I'm going to start off by asking you, before we get to this, a little bit, tell me a little bit about RML Group and a little bit about you and your background.
So, it's hard to do concisely.
Okay.
So RML, last year was our 40th anniversary.
Okay, yeah.
RML did stand for RML Limited.
Yep.
So my father started the business in 1984 to support his racing activity.
Okay, cool.
And we then turned into a company that ran motorsport programs for multiple OEMs. We won our class at Le Mans. We won in British touring cars, world touring cars. We produced rally cars for people. We did oval racing.
Okay.
And we are now an organisation that does a small amount of motorsport.
Yep.
About 10% of our revenue is motorsport.
Okay.
The rest is mainly high technology and the kind of super luxury automotive market.
Okay.
And we're very, very heavily invested in battery systems as well.
Okay.
With our power division.
Okay, cool. Wow, okay, okay. So you today have brought the P39.
Yes.
Right.
Yep.
So tell me a little bit, we'll start off. So how did this project start? Where did the idea for the P39 come from?
Like the best projects started as a really stupid idea. So this is the first project from our new bespoke division.
Yeah. Okay.
And the bespoke division is all about creating vehicles that OEMs can't.
Okay.
Ticking the boxes that I think need ticking for different usage cases.
Yeah.
So P39, it's called P39 because it's our 39th full vehicle project.
Okay.
So P39 is the internal code name.
Okay.
Which is kind of stuck
Yeah,
a little.
it's great. I mean, I like it. Yeah.
But it's basically my take on if the top class at Le Mans, now the hypercar class, was based on road cars, which was the initial kind of concept, what might a 911 look like in that guise? So very much the modern day version of the GT1s from the 90s. And highlighting the performance capability and the performance skills and heritage of the Malix and the RML Group in what we've done. So,
wow, yeah. Oh, it's awesome. And so the base car, it's a 992 Turbo S.
Correct. Yep.
Okay. And so you were always going to go with Porsche, or was that just the first thing you thought for this vehicle, for this idea?
For me, this was the best basis. Everyone loves a 911.
Yeah.
Right? You know, look around where we are.
Yeah. Yeah. No, they're solid.
And it's also a bit of a love letter to the 996 Stratton as well, which is a car that everyone loves. I was 13 or 14 at the time, and it was that was very much one of my favourite car of the era.
Yeah.
And it's just a great base to work from.
Yeah.
But this is very much not the car that it starts off as.
Yeah. No. So talk me through it. I'm intrigued because it's. I mean, I can see a little 992, but not really. I can't really. Where did? Yeah. I mean, everything is.
It is. So, well, to start off with, we start with key attributes that we brief into the engineering team.
Okay.
So, stupid idea in my head and there's daft sketches. We have to try and rationalise that into something. So, I gave the target of more downforce than any current Porsche road car.
Okay.
Capable of sub 645 around the Nordschleife.
Yeah.
And capable of daily usage as well.
Yeah.
Which is key.
Yes.
So that kind of sets the outlines. To deliver that, and we've delivered all those attributes.
Yep.
The simulation is very much sub that lap time on the Nordschleife.
Okay.
This is a 992 Turbo S with 100mm wider track, a longer wheelbase, a full new body, and the body is there for aerodynamic reasons.
Yep.
So more downforce than any current Porsche road car. It was quite a big stretch because I also wanted to make sure we deliver that in an elegant way.
Okay.
Not without, I say without a big wing. It's got a pretty big wing, but without the big slashes and flicks and all that kind of stuff.
No, it all goes well together.
It does. It kind of works. So it has active aero.
Yeah.
which is driver controlled as well. So it's,
okay.
it's in high downforce mode here. So you see the front second element slips out, the rear wing goes into.
So that bit actually comes out?
Yeah, that's in its extended position at the moment.
Okay, wow.
So in normal road mode, that tucks back in and sits flush with the upper section.
Wow, okay.
The other bit on the aero is there's driver actuated DRS as well.
Okay.
So that does that.
Okay.
It has active ride control. So we've developed a new system with our damper partner, which is a company called R53, UK company.
Okay, cool, nice.
Which has 3 different ride heights when it's in this spec. So it's in its track mode at the moment.
So lowest possible setting, okay.
Yeah. This is quite tricky to get in and out of speed bumps and so on. It's nominal ride height, which is up about 15 mil from here, and it has a lift as well.
Okay, great.
That again is all driver controlled, all on the steering wheel. It also has quite a bit more power than standard.
Yep.
So this has our power pack. What that does is takes the already pretty ample Turbo S and adds nearly 50% more power in its top spec. So in road mode with the power pack, it's kind of 750 or so.
Wow.
In full track mode, we say 920 plus. This is 950 PS. It was, I think so.
Okay.
Yeah.
So she moves.
Plenty. She certainly does. But it's all usable as well.
Yeah.
So that's the key thing.
No. That's wonderful.
But the key challenge from a delivery perspective is the usable element.
Yes. Yeah.
So for me, most modern sort of supercars and certainly hypercars are fantastic on track. But as soon as you come off the track,
you're in a race
quite
car.
aggressive from a ride comfort perspective.
Yeah.
So this, when you're in track mode,
Yeah.
when you want to play around, do your lap time, or at Silverstone on the GP circuit, it's super low, super stiff, still very well damped, but it's very much a race car. When you come off, you put everything back to road mode, and 96.something% of the time, it has the same wheel rate as a Turbo S.
Okay.
Which means it's kind of like driving a Golf.
So you've got race mode, normal mode,
Yep.
and was there a third mode?
There are 3 modes.
3 modes.
So this is it's all controlled
It's
on
all on the steering wheel.
On the steering wheel.
Okay.
Yeah. So.
May I open it?
Yeah, please.
Cool. Finding those door handles a little bit. They pop out.
There we go.
May I get in?
Please.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And they're actually a lot more comfortable than they look. These seats. So these are the track spec seats.
Yeah. Okay.
Which are a fixed back carbon.
Wow. Okay. Okay. Cool. Okay. So it's okay. Sorry, you tell me.
No.
So it's basically. So have you done? There's not a lot that you've done in the interior-wise in here to change it, or am I being?
There's not a lot
stupid?
you can do to a 992. Really, it's a really good base.
Okay. Yeah. No, it is.
So if it ain't broke,
don't fix it.
That's it.
Yeah.
Everything that we do is authentic, so we won't do something just for aesthetic reasons.
Yeah.
Effectively.
Okay.
Main change are these 4.
Yeah, I can see that. Okay. Okay.
If you're familiar with the GT3 RS, this will look familiar.
Yeah.
These are not the rotaries and controls from a GT3 RS.
Okay.
So this is the original drive mode,
Yep.
As per the Porsche.
Yep.
This controls our damper system, so we have 3 modes on that. We also have the ability to send customers different damper settings that they can upload with the USB when they go to different circuits.
Okay.
The ride has the 3 ride modes,
Yep.
and including the lift.
Yep.
And the aero has the different modes, and when you press the button in the middle, it does it there.
Yeah. This is that's very convenient.
Yeah, it is.
To have everything right there in front of you. I love this.
And when you press the damper button, it drops it puts everything out, and it puts it in full race mode effectively.
Oh my gosh, that's so cool.
Yeah.
These seats are great.
They are really good.
They are.
Actually.
They're very comfortable.
Yeah. The first couple of customer cars, they've spec the comfort pack, which basically retains the standard seat.
Yeah. Okay.
But then when they've come and had a sit it's actually better than expected. So.
Yeah. You got a roll cage in here as well.
Yep.
Yeah. Nice. Oh my gosh, it's a very nice place to be.
It is a very nice place to be. So this is very much the engineering prototype. So it's also relatively early in its whole vehicle development. So the program really kicked off about a year ago fully. I bought this car, what was the car underneath, 3 years ago yesterday.
Oh wow. Okay.
So I spent a couple of years running the Turbo S to understand everything it does.
Yeah.
But also logging everything that it does that you don't know about.
Okay.
So that's all the passive systems.
Yeah.
So things like the active roll bars, the rear wheel steer, all that kind of stuff. We have understood what they do, and we've actually retained them and retained their functionality as well.
Okay. Wow. So were there any sort of, I'm going to get out, it's a bit warm in here. Was there any, when you're going through the development process, was there any sort of, I don't want to say, I'm trying to find the right word here, any issues, not issues, but anything that challenges, that's the word I was looking for.
Well, apart from the attributes I set out at the start for engineering.
Yes, yeah.
The main challenge with any modern car is working with all the systems that are in it.
Yeah.
So working on anything like this,
Yeah.
really relatively straightforward.
Yeah.
The big challenge nowadays is everything is interconnected and everything is very much locked down. So our controls and electronics team spent a lot of time understanding those base systems, going through it all. But it's mad now how connected everything is.
Yeah.
So we put a seat from one of the customer donor cars in my Taycan.
Okay.
Because we were trying something on it. And when we plugged it in, the radar on the front stopped working, which killed the active cruise control.
Right.
The left window stopped working. And there was something else.
Okay.
And as soon as we put the normal seat back in, it was fine.
That's wild.
So, you unplug one thing and it kind of does something 20 things down the road.
Oh gosh.
So that's the big challenge. So it's understanding working with that, overlaying it, integrating where possible, but then not confusing it as well.
Yeah.
That's the hard bit.
Yeah. Okay. Wheels. Are these are you guys have
Yes.
these are made
so
for
we offer these as a standard. So they are 20 and 21, I believe.
That's huge.
It's a big and it's
They're
very,
wide.
very wide as well.
Yeah.
But they're a GC3 RS size tyre.
Yeah. Okay.
So we've tried to make sure we keep it simple, so only the service and usage
It's not
stuff is
difficult.
straightforward.
Yeah. Fair enough.
Yeah, this is the standard wheel. We have a magnesium one.
Okay.
And we're offering a carbon barrel magnesium spindled one as well, which is the lightest and stiffest wheel that's on the market. We believe, which is quite cool.
Yeah, that's very cool.
Yeah.
Okay. And is that you guys have done that in house? Or not? Do you do who does
the design, etc. We do in house.
Yeah.
We work with partners for manufacture.
Okay.
The carbon one is with Dymag.
Okay. Cool.
Who's a company we've worked with for years and was actually set up by someone who was one of my father's engineers in the 80s.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah.
That's really nice. So you got the right rubber on there.
Yep.
So the whole thing is carbon fiber. Am I right? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
So it's not a body kit.
No.
It is a body.
Yeah.
So we take the donor vehicle, we remove the entire body back to the safety structure.
Yeah.
So we retain the entire safety structure.
Yeah.
But every surface that touches the air is then new.
Yeah. Wow.
Including the rear clam, which...
Yeah, no, I was looking at that. I was thinking, how am I going to get into the engine to have a look at that? But it's not very...
So there's as there is on 992, there's the little flap on the top.
Yeah.
So the engine cover comes off there.
Okay.
You can access those bits.
Yeah.
It's just as usable as
Okay.
that.
Yeah, no, okay.
But you'll notice there aren't many split lines.
There really
on
isn't,
this,
no.
Which is key from an aesthetic perspective.
Wow.
Engineering and manufacturing hate it. But it was super important to me to have it as clean and sleek as it could be.
Is it just the door? The doors that are, or no, that I'm trying to find because I can see one.
Have a look.
Yeah, I'm having there's one line here. I mean, okay. Oh no, okay. Because the bumper. It says bumper separate.
Bumper separate.
Okay, bumper's separate. Doors are separate.
Hood is one piece,
Hood
so
is
there's
one
no
piece.
split.
Yeah. Can we get this open?
Yes.
Is that
Yeah.
Your side, my side.
It's my side. I think.
Okay, cool.
So it is I don't think I've ever done this actually.
Okay.
So there's a very handy button here.
Yeah.
on the dash.
Oh wow, that's super convenient.
Yeah, and that
Wow.
lifts up. So it is a single piece. This is the prototype. So you'll see loads of logging looms and so on.
Yeah.
And it's quite unfinished, but it shows it's all purposeful.
Yeah, it is. That's absolutely wild. So then I can see the A-pillars go all the way. I mean, this all goes into the rear.
It does.
So you've got the whole roof. That's one piece.
That's one piece.
And it goes
which
down.
comes down. It comes round the sill.
Yeah.
And it's the back of the front wheel arch. So that's a single piece. Main reason for that is durability and quality. So a lot of cars that are rebodied that have this kind of stuff go on, normally you would have a roof section and it would have a split here and a split here down the A-pillar. That would be bonded together, then it would be filled in paint, all that kind of stuff. What that risks is in a year, 3 years, 5 years time, it will start cracking.
Okay.
So we don't do that. We don't like cracking.
No.
And I don't like split lines.
No.
I'm quite particular about design and the details of everything. And my sketch didn't have any split lines on it.
Yeah, no, of course not. No, okay. Well, you guys have done a brilliant job with that then, because you can't. I mean, it's just to see the whole roof from A-pillar roof going all the way down and all the way into the sills as well.
Yeah, it's a big piece.
Yeah.
It's a very big piece.
Okay, wow.
But it works well.
Yeah, no, it does. It does. Roof scoop, awesome.
Roof scoop, needed, obviously.
Yeah.
2 reasons. 1, looks really cool. And 2, sound. So the induction roar is absolutely awesome.
I bet it is.
And it's actually really high pitch as well.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, under full load, full throttle.
Yeah.
It sounds really cool. So all the engine air comes through the top.
Okay.
So we work with Litchfield.
Cool, yeah, nice.
On Powertrain.
Awesome, okay,
so
cool.
Ian, I've worked with for 15 years.
Yeah.
My first project when I came back into RML was the Nissan Juke R.
Okay, cool.
Which used the GTR powertrain and so on, and we worked with Ian for the upgrades and so on that.
Yeah, makes sense.
Obviously, he knows Porsches really well now.
Yes, yes.
We work with the best. If we can't get the right partners, we'll do it in-house.
Yeah.
Our powertrain department could deliver it, but again, don't reinvent the wheel.
No.
So work with the right partners.
Yeah.
So this is an entire new engine setup. So new intakes, turbos, intercoolers, air path in and out. That's all new.
Okay.
You'll see it still has the hip scoops, as we call them.
Yep.
So in a Turbo S, traditionally that's where the engine air would come from. If you have a look down.
Because normally this is where you can see you can see right through, but now there's no. Oh, whoa! Okay, up there.
Yeah. So you can literally see right through. Look,
yeah. Huh.
So again, nothing frivolous, everything for a purpose. So that is there because it reduces drag by 4% or so.
Wow.
So that literally goes straight through, out the back. And it works in conjunction with the diffuser and the rear wing, just managing the airflow.
Gosh, I keep having moments where I'm just like, I just feel like this is the best thing I've seen in a very long time.
That's very nice to hear.
No, it's incredible.
But I do the same, and the guys do as well. It's funny, we didn't use a traditional design model of building a clay or anything like that.
Okay.
We used VR and AR for this. So what that meant was with our designer, who's a guy called Darryl Scriven, who I've worked with for many years.
Yeah.
I could be in LA at midnight and he would send an update. I'll put my goggles on and I could be walking around the car either at the racetrack, or I could go downstairs and I could drop it in the car park and see everything around it and walk around, so you get the perspective of everything.
Huh. Wow. Okay.
So that meant when we started getting physical bits, you kind of knew what it was going to look like.
Yeah.
But it does look a bit more than 10 when it's in real life.
Yeah. No, I've seen so many images of it online, and you were at the Supercar Driver event the other day, and it's it definitely gets some presence. I mean, online.
It has presence, doesn't it?
Yeah, but then
it
in person, when
does.
it showed up today, I was like, oh my gosh, this is just wild.
It's hard to get the perspective, and that's part of the reason why we use the AR actually for the design process.
Okay.
Because it's only when you've got it around other stuff. So in a photo, normally it's on its own.
Yeah.
So you've got no reference point.
Yeah.
But it's cool. So the car in car, as we call it, is
the car in car.
So rear bumper, very similar to the original car.
Yeah.
But framed on the outside.
Okay.
So again, if you think back to the GT1 cars of the 90s, that was
that was
kind of that framing.
Yeah.
Obviously clear at the rear behind the rear wheels to help exit the air. They're big buggers, aren't they?
They are huge.
They're very soft, as I found out when I had we were at an event last Saturday and I drove it back up the M1, which was good fun. apart from all the attention you get.
Yeah. Have you? Because I guess you haven't had this much, or like you haven't had this on the road much, have you? It's mainly been to events.
Well, we finished build of this prototype a month ago.
Yeah. You did well. You were on schedule. I remember because we spoke early in the year. And it was, and that never happens.
Well, that never happens normally. It always happens with us.
Okay, so that's great. That's really great. You got a good team.
That's one of the great things about having a motorsport background in business. You know, qualifying never moves. So if you have a deadline, that's when you have to hit.
Yeah.
So we had a self-imposed deadline of the Supercar Fest at Sywell, which is run by an old friend of mine.
Yeah.
It's 2 miles from our facility.
Perfect.
So I said that this is the event we need to be at.
Yeah.
So we had about 300 tickets and brought all our staff and their family and stuff, which was great. But the guys had a pit board with a countdown with days to go to the event.
Okay.
So there was no missing it. Those pit boards are still up, and they're counting down to when we're going to show the first customer car, which will be at the end of August.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's really exciting. That's soon.
It really is.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Oh
so it's in build, and it's actually in its paint process at the moment.
Okay. Wow. Okay.
And that's going to look pretty wild.
Okay. Yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing that. Hopefully the customer will be having that public. You know.
Yeah, we're showing it in public.
Oh,
so
brilliant.
we're showing it at Salon Privé.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah.
Oh, good.
It's going to,
That's a great event.
It's boldly coloured.
Okay, cool.
Got lots of tinted visual carbon and all that kind of stuff as well.
So they're not going for full exposed carbon? They've gone...
No.
Okay.
And this, just on that note, so countdown to the event, we were on time.
Yeah.
We didn't quite have enough time to do some of the stuff we wanted to do, which included painting it.
Okay, so you were going to paint the car?
Yeah.
Okay, interesting.
So this is not visual carbon. This is literally just carbon straight out the mould. It hasn't been processed at all.
Okay.
It almost looks too good because it almost looks like it's meant to be visual carbon.
Yeah. No, it's very high quality.
No, it's good, and what it does really well, apart from looking awesome in the sun, because it really reads well, right? It does show that it is all new.
Yeah, so there's no fleck, because sometimes when I'm looking at it in sunshine, it looked almost like there's like a brown to it.
That's just a natural carbon weave.
Wow, okay, interesting. Yeah. Okay, so I thought it had like some sort of brown tint on the carbon.
No, this is literally straight out of the mould. It hasn't even been rubbed down.
What colour were you guys going to go for? You're not going to tell me, you don't have to.
I don't think I actually decided that.
Okay.
I'm terrible with colours. So we've got, we're going to build 39 of them.
Yep,
the first
limited 239.
Correct. Okay. First 10 are anniversary specs, so 40th anniversary.
Yeah.
And for that, we've come up with a bespoke RML Ruby Red that we offer just on those cars.
Nice.
That I think we did 30-something samples off to get happy
the right one.
with it.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So potentially that, but no, it works really well in carbon.
Another thing, it sounds absolutely awesome. We'll have to. Actually, I might even ask if you wouldn't mind doing that if we could, and then we'll talk about the exhaust maybe. But I'd like to. If we, can we start it?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, let's give it a little listen. I'll stand here with my mic, so I'm close.
Stand out of the way.
Okay.
It's quite hard.
That's awesome. Wow. Wow.
It's good sound, isn't it?
It's really good sound. Okay, so exhaust.
But also, importantly, it's fully UK road compliant.
Yeah. Well,
for emissions and noise as well.
Yeah. Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Well done. So exhaust-wise, now I know you mentioned earlier that those aren't are they? What? Tell me.
This is one of the couple of specs that we've got. So
okay.
We have been running a different spec exhaust until this was fitted yesterday.
Okay.
It's Inconel and titanium.
Nice.
We've got a couple of different tailpipe options.
Nice.
This is the spec that customer car number 2 has gone for, so we're just trialling them to make sure they're all good.
Yeah.
Rather than just fitting them.
Okay, so 3 different options. Okay, do you guys do that? Is that done with a partner?
That's with our partner.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice. Wow. It's just incredible. And I know you can't see much engine-wise here, but I know one of your team pointed out that you can just about see the turbo from underneath here.
There's a lot of turbo to see. It's a big thing.
Yeah, I'm just trying to see. Oh yeah, you can see just down there. I mean, it's not the easiest to see.
Well, that's it. So the underside of the floor, there's a couple of cooling holes at the back of the engine bay.
Okay.
The whole floor is mapped for aero again. So we designed this car with the same processes as if we were doing a hypercar for an OEM.
Yeah.
So in terms of the design and validation process, on the performance side of things, aero was the big challenge.
Yeah. Okay.
So this did, I think, over 200 whole vehicle runs in our CFD.
Wow.
Which we do all in-house now.
Yeah. Wow.
We've got some very, very talented people who do wizardry that I don't really understand.
Okay.
But we can map the whole car, so as if it's running with turning wheels, and that's the airflow going through the radiators and all that kind of stuff as well. So super accurate, super detailed.
Yeah.
So yeah, every surface, including the underside, is there because it needs to be like that.
Yeah. Well, I kind of want to see the underside now.
Well, that I can't do.
No, I know. Oh, wow. So what have you got planned with the car over the next, so you say you've got the customer car at the end of August that you're going to launch it, or you're going to show it at Salon Privé.
Yep.
Yeah, what else have you got planned with the car? Are you going to well, yeah, tell me what have
Well,
you...
we've got a battle between engineering and marketing.
Okay.
Because this is very, very much a prototype.
Yeah.
So we're mixing between the two activities of showing it off and doing the testing and the durability.
Oh,
a lot of the system work has been done off car.
Okay.
So it's kind of been done throughout the process.
Okay.
So there's not as much validation as you would need to do if you were just building it and then running it. But we've got various events going on. We've got something in August, I think, haven't we?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. You're coming to Megaphonics, aren't you?
We are, which I'm excited for.
I'm really excited. I'm excited to see this out there.
Yeah, and by then we'll have so at the moment all the hydraulics are locked off.
Okay.
Because it's going through its FMEA testing and it's being used on the road.
Okay.
So by then all the active rides will be turned on and so on. So we'll be able to get in and over speed bumps and all that kind of stuff, which will be handy.
Gosh.
But we've got various events we're doing across Europe.
Oh wow, okay, cool.
So we've got our European distribution partner, which should be being announced next week.
Okay.
We have our US sort of nominal East Coast partner, which is Graham Rahal Performance.
Cool.
So Graham knows his Porsches very well.
Yeah. Wow. Okay.
And
awesome.
we're probably finalising a UAE distributor next week as well. So I'm running around doing that. We're supporting them with their events. We're building customer cars. So the first 4, I think, are in process at our place at the minute.
That's so exciting.
And kind of one a month that they're going to be popping out.
Gosh, busy.
Popping out sounds easy.
Yeah, it does. It does. Yeah, I'm just going to pop another P39 out.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay, so if you were going to take this car anywhere in the world, so say you got 2 weeks or a week, 10 days.
Yep.
Where would you go? Where would you take it? How would you drive? Well, yeah. Where would you? What kind of roads would you go for? What would you like? Where do you see yourself taking it?
Do you want the marketing answer or the real answer?
Both. No.
So marketing is I would drive it to the Nürburgring, I would do it 632, and I would drive it back, and I'd be calm and serene. I don't know, just anywhere. I really want to drive it at Silverstone on GP circuit.
Yeah. Okay.
So when I come up with a concept for a car, or I'm defining what it should do on the road, the road between our facility and Sywell Aerodrome is fantastic. And my best friend growing up lived at the other end of it. Okay. So when we were kind of 17, we knew the road quite well. I think we ended up in the field once or twice.
Okay.
I didn't, importantly. But whenever I come up with a car, that's the road I imagine driving on it.
Yeah.
So 3 days after this was put together, I did do that, which was nice. That was really cool. And Silverstone and Spa are my 2 favourite tracks by a long way.
Yeah.
But Spa's a long way away.
Would you drive this over to Spa? Yeah. Cool.
Yep. So it retains all the usability and stuff. You know, it's still got the reversing camera and the surround view and the lift and Apple CarPlay, which is actually what's the reason that there's like a patch there where it's not carbon. Yeah. That's for the aerials and so on. Because they don't work through carbon fibre. So
okay.
That's what that's for.
Huh. Oh, wow.
Which I found out in build.
So that's the only bit that isn't carbon?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow. Oh, it's incredible, Michael.
It is. The team have done an incredible job of kind of extrapolating my vision. One of the other purposes of the bespoke division of the business is to talk about what we do. So most of the work we do, we're completely white label. We can't talk about it. The history of RML is not very well known. 40 years we've been around, and the Malek family have been in cars for much, much longer. So my grandfather built his first special, and we found a trophy from him in 1938.
Wow.
Recently.
Wow. Okay.
And the first Malek U2 was sold in 1958. So we've been around for quite a long time.
For sure. Wow.
But now I want the world to know what we do and what the team deliver, because we do have the best technology in the world, and some of the best engineering minds in the world, and they deserve to show off what they do.
Yeah, you should be very proud. You've got a great team with you, and you've got a seriously awesome product.
Yeah.
Oh wow. Well, Michael, thank you so much for coming and bringing this car.
You're very welcome. Thanks for having me.
Yeah.
It's always fun to talk about it.
Yeah, no, it's been a pleasure. It's been a pleasure to hear you talk about it. Thank you so much.
Great stuff.
See ya.